If you could choose, what would be the last words you ever spoke? Would you tell the first half of a knock-knock joke, or tell your firstborn he turns out a top bloke, or ask your little sister to look after your old folks? Naturally, you'd want to save the best until last, so everything from the past would need to be surpassed. This could be achieved with a lifetime of sabotage, constant faux pas, stop the graph peaking too fast, or perhaps you could set up a pension-based system, where every few days you store away some words of wisdom, locked in a memory bank for a rainy day, a greatest hits of everything you've ever had to say. Now David had already lived the life of words, more powerful than storms, yet more soothing than birds. He could speak to Saul's soul and make the holes whole. He wrote psalms more beautiful than sunlight in the morning. And as David went to die, maybe his life would flash before his eyes, and he would take the time and words to tell us what he'd done. How he was the last son, smallest of 7 brothers, only picked because Samuel asked if there were any others, the shepherd boy, who went on to write Psalm 23. The kid who killed a giant at the age of 17, imagine being the one the phrase giant killer was named after, the king and father. His last words would be harder. Now David didn't end on any jokes or witty remarks or quotable one-liners like Churchill or Karl Marx. Instead, King David, one of the greatest ever known, ended by acknowledging his words were not his own. He said the Lord spoke through him, and it was his words on his tongue. So David's life would end in the same way it begun, in the same way it had been through every song he'd sung, ruling righteously. He was like the gleaming of a sun. The great King David was ruled by one greater. The shepherd boy grew to join another flock. In the same way as his psalms, it was a common denominator in that David's last words were inspired by God.